Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Donald Trump has played down the issue of Taiwan, but also raised doubts over whether he would proceed with a major package of arms sales to the island, adding, "We're not looking to have wars." It comes after Xi warned Trump of a clash or even conflict if the Taiwan issue is mishandled, saying that it can push China-US relations into a very dangerous place. Earlier, Mr. Trump claimed he and Xi have agreed on how to end the war in Iran. China said it welcomed the start of the dialogue on the Middle East and called for the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Xi hailed the two-day summit as historic, adding, "Together we affirmed the new position on constructive, strategic and stable China-US relationship."
So we had a great stay. It was an amazing period of time. President Xi's an incredible guy. Got along, made a lot of great trade deals, including over 200 planes for Boeing with a promise of 750 planes, which will be by far the largest order ever if they do a good job with the 200, which I'm sure they will. And that's General Electric also, the engines. So they're buying General Electric. So it's approximately 450 engines, 200 planes, and a promise of up to 750 if they do a good job. We had an amazing time. It was a very historic couple of days, I think.
Russia and Ukraine have exchanged 205 prisoners of war, hours after rescue workers ended their search of a destroyed block of flats in Kyiv, in which 24 people were killed. Most of the Ukrainian prisoners had been held since 2022. The swap was part of a short-lived ceasefire, which ended with the launch of a series of massive Russian strikes earlier this week. Meanwhile, a Russian official said 4 people had died, including a child in a drone attack southeast of Moscow. CIA Director John Ratcliffe has met his Cuban counterpart at the Interior Ministry in Havana after the US renewed an offer of $100 million of aid to ease the effects of its oil blockade. A Cuban statement said the meeting was an attempt to improve dialogue, and American officials were told Havana was not a threat to national security. Fuel shortages exacerbated by the US oil blockade on the country have left hospitals unable to function and forced schools and government offices to close. Africa's top health agency has declared an Ebola outbreak on the Democratic Republic of Congo's eastern Ituri province. Around 246 cases and 65 deaths have been reported, mainly in the gold mining towns of Mongwalu and Rwampara. Its statement added it was meeting Uganda and South Sudan and other international partners to discuss priorities including response efforts and cross-border surveillance.
This is the 17th recorded Ebola outbreak in DRC since the virus was first identified in 1976. DRC has a strong track record in Ebola response and control. I have also assured the Minister of our full support.
5 Italians have died during a cave scuba dive in the Maldives. 4 of the divers were part of a University of Genoa team, including Professor of Ecology Monica Montefalcone, her daughter and 2 researchers. The Maldives military said 1 body had been found in a cave 60 meters underwater. Another 20 Italian nationals are said to be unharmed. The Indian billionaire Gautam Adani and his nephew Sagar Adani have agreed to pay $18 million in penalties to settle a civil fraud lawsuit filed by the US Securities and Exchange Commission. In 2024, the regulator had accused the Adanis of paying bribes to Indian officials for high-profile renewable energy projects and misleading US investors about anti-bribery practices while trying to raise funds through a bond offering. The Adani Group is one of India's largest business conglomerates, with interests in sectors including energy and airports. And New Zealand's Maui Queen has met King Charles at Buckingham Palace. She had what she described as heartfelt discussions with King Charles, the first meeting between the British monarch and Te Arakinwi since she became Maui Queen in 2024. Discussions included the Treaty of Waitangi, signed in 1840 by over 500 Maori chiefs, and the British Crown, which is seen as the cornerstone of Maori rights legislation in New Zealand. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.